Alright, so today I'm going to be doing a spray paint art with this picture box. Now, spray painting on glass is a very particular process. You have to do it little by little and make sure your layers are drying. This is the first time I ever did a glass painting, and you can see the sky came out really good, but my planet, you can see these outer edges didn't come out so clean because I didn't let the paint fully dry before I did my colors, which gave it that kind of messy look. All in all, it didn't come out too terrible. Now the whole painting process for this is you do it backwards than you normally would. So again, reverting back to this, I did my stars first, and then I did my colors, and then I did my black, and then your planet is the very last thing that you do. But again, you got to make sure all of your paint is fully dry before you start doing anything extra, so you can prevent those smudges. So I got my glass box here. I'm going to be doing a space theme on the actual glass, and then I'm going to put some lights behind it so I can make the picture glow. Alright, so I've unwrapped my shadow box. That's what it is, not a picture box. And the big thing you want to make sure is some of these you can't take the glass out, so make sure you buy one to where you can take the glass out. And this one doesn't have a backing, so I'm going to have to make some sort of backing to go along with it so I can put my lights on. So we're going to take the glass out. Alright, so I've taken my glass out when I didn't realize this is actually a double pane. So I have two pieces of glass. But before we start, you're going to want to make sure your glass is nice and clean, smudge free, because if you have smudges on it when you paint it, it's going to show in your final product. So we're going to give this glass a quick wipe down and make sure it's nice and smudge free. Alright, I've made sure my glass is nice and smudge free, and now we are going to start the process. First thing is you're going to want to kind of go into this with an idea. So I got my planet. That's the first thing we're going to put down on our glass. So I'm going to put my planet somewhere about here. Alright, next I'm going to start my painting off by doing my stars first. And there's a couple different methods of doing stars when you're doing spray paint art. Some people like to use their fingers, spray the paint onto their fingers and then just kind of flick it on. Some people I've seen use rubber spatulas where they spray it onto the spatula and then just kind of smack it off their fingers and it will splatter onto the canvas or whatever you're painting on. Me, I like to just use the can. If you press slightly down onto the sprayer, it'll kind of spit the paint out. So let's put our stars on. There we go. Nice simple stars. Alright, next I'm going to do kind of a nebula cloud type of deal. I'm hoping that with the lights it'll kind of make it glow and look pretty cool. So I'm going to start again by using my white. And I'm going to go make a nice line right down, just like that. And then I'm going to take a crumpled up piece of paper, because we're doing everything in reverse here. And I'm just going to kind of blot it all the way up my line. And it's going to give it kind of this cloudy effect. Just hit it until you like what you see. Next step is the colors of our actual nebula. I usually like to stick to something nice and light, so I got like this pink, blue, and this new light purple that I'm going to use. Alright, next we're going to start with our colors. I'm going to start with this pink. Give it a light dusting, nothing too crazy. Right on the outer edge. I'm going to go in with a nice mist of blue. Okay. I'm going to come behind that with my purple. Just like that. Nice and easy. Now from here, I'm going to give it a good amount of time to dry, and then after that we're going to come in with our black. Now while my paint's drying, I'm actually going to go ahead and make a different backing for my box. You see, this is a double pane, so I'm actually going to make a backing out of cardboard to where I can put my lights on, because I don't want to use this other piece of glass. I'll use this for a different painting later on. So I'm going to go ahead and put this to the side. But I'm actually going to use this glass to make kind of a stencil, and I'm going to cut it out of cardboard so we can fit it into these notches right here. Go on my backing. I'm just going to place my glass right down here onto this piece of cardboard. I just used an Amazon box, and I'm going to use a Sharpie and trace around it, and then I'm just going to cut it out. Alright, I got my new backing. And I'm actually just going to give this thing a bit of a paint job so it doesn't look so ugly. Alright, just going to give this thing a nice coat of black. Alright, once that's dry, I'm going to flip it over and do it on the other side as well. Now we're going to go check on our actual painting and see if we can put the black on that. Alright, so our paint is dry enough to where I can apply my space background. I'm just going to come in with my little black dress. I'm just going to cover it. Now with the planet, it's probably a good idea that you add a bit of weight onto it just so it doesn't blow around while you're painting. So I got me a nice rock. Put that down so that way it won't blow and mess up my painting. There we have it. Nice coat of black. Some of the color might bleed through, not really a big deal. If you think that you need a second coat, give it a second coat, but just be sure that you avoid overspraying, because it will pool up around your planet here, and then when you go to lift it up, you're going to have this big thick ring. Yeah, it's not going to look too pleasant. Once you're happy with your layers of the black, just give this a good amount of time to dry before you actually move on to the planet. Because if I were to go on and try to do the planet right now, it's going to do like my old painting here, and it's going to give us these ugly smears around the side, and it's just not going to look nice on the final product. So give this plenty of time to dry. Bored of waiting for your paint to dry? Why not have a drink? Today we're going to make a drink that's inspired by one of my favorites, Mega Man. First, fill your shaker cup with some ice. Next, we're going to come in with 3 ounces of rum. 1.5. 3 ounces. Next, hit it with some flavor. Hit it with 1.5 ounces of this triple sec. 1.5. Next, we're going to make it that classic Mega Man blue by hitting it with blue curacao. 1.5 ounces of blue curacao. You may add a little bit more if you want it bluer, but for my sake, I'm actually using alcoholic blue curacao and I don't want to die. Next, we're going to hit it with a little bit of shakage. Yes, this is a whale shaker. Now we're going to add in some lemon lime soda for a little bit of fizz and a little bit of fun. Do not shake it, for it is carbonated, and if you shake a carbonated beverage, it'll explode and end all of existence. But we're going to pour into our glass. Look at that beautiful blue color. Our final step involves a maraschino cherry. Fuck that cherry. Bloop! And here we have a Mega Man inspired drink, the Mega Buster. As you can see, it kind of looks like his little Mega Buster cannon. Sip and enjoy. Alright, we're coming back to our custom made backing. Flipping it, and we're going to add another layer of black. So that way from the back side you don't just see old Amazon box, and from the inside it's I don't know, it's black because I want it to be. So hit it with another layer and bam, blacked out. Next we're going to come back over to our painting and we're going to scream at it at the top of our lungs to force it to dry. I'm just kidding, that's not going to work, but you can try. But again, just keep waiting for it to dry. What you are looking for, though, is give it a quick little poke, and you just want it to not be tacky. And this is pretty good because I actually have a quick drying paint. If you guys do need paint suggestions, I'm using a Color Shot. This is a pretty quick drying paint, and it's really, really good. They have really nice, vibrant colors, and they name it funny things like Little Black Dress. Or how about some wine stain? Or maybe you need some root beer float. I wouldn't recommend drinking this one because you'd probably die. I also have vintage lace, summer pedicure, and my personal favorite, shark! Oh yeah, I have this guy too, aromatherapy, which we actually used for our painting here. Another step you can do while you're waiting for this to dry is think about the colors you want your planet to be. I'm using vintage lace, summer pedicure, red and blue. Actually, sorry, that's not blue, that's orange. Haha! Tricked me. Now we're going to come in and we're going to remove our rock and remove our original planet stencil. Now I see a nice, beautiful circle ready to be made into a planet. Now I'm going to zoom in on my circle here a bit. And, you see, because I didn't do overspraying, you have this nice clean line. Now if I were to overspray, it's going to pool up right around here and it's going to have this big bump, and it's just not going to be very pretty. Alright, so just wanted to point that out. Now let's go ahead and start painting our planet. Alright, now a little bit about planet coloring. Some people like to just spray it right on, and then they'll take their next color and spray that on, and it just kind of pools up. And then they'll take like their newspaper or something, slap it on, and dab it around. And then when they take it off, it's all muddy because a lot of people overspray it. And then you got to think about the colors that you're actually mixing together. Some colors just don't like to mix together, and it will make a kind of a ugly color that you weren't going for. So for this particular planet, to keep it nice and clean, I'm going to do a 3-tone. You're thinking, but you have 4 colors. How are you going to do a 3-tone with 4 colors? Well, typically you add white to your planet because it gives it this natural highlight, maybe a little bit of cloudy texture. So I'm going to do a nice light misting of white. So when I go to do my other colors, it's going to give it that natural highlight that I need. Alright, so a nice light spraying of white, nothing too crazy. Now I'm going to come behind that with my summer pedicure, which is more of a pink. Right up the top like that. Now my middle color, I'm going to use my red. See how those colors they blend together really well. And now my final color is going to be my orange. And there we go. Now for this particular thing, I'm actually just going to take a crumpled up piece of paper and I'm going to kind of blot it instead of laying it down and swiping it. And there we go. Now the back side doesn't have to be pretty. It's all about what the front side's going to look like. Got the colors on though, and I'm going to wait for that to dry. I don't want to get too handsy with it because I don't want a big fatty fingerprint smudge somewhere within my paint. Alright, my final step, I actually went through and I colored the back in a black to kind of lock in that color. Once again, we're playing the waiting game and letting this bad boy dry. Alright, so I actually went about this all wrong. I wasn't thinking before. So for this painting, you don't need to black it out. The background that we did, that is going to be our black. Because if you black it out too much over here, the light isn't going to be able to shine through. So I am going to go and black out the edges a little bit just to give it that spacey effect. But I'm going to make it more of a cloudy black so that way my light still seeps through rather than, you know, just have a thick black paint where light can't escape. So, good thing I bought that double pane glass shadow box. Alright, nice light dusting of black. Go. Nothing too thick. You want that light to still be able to seep through. Alright, moving on to my lights. I bought these string lights. And that's all I'm going to do is I'm going to use just regular tape. And I'm going to tape the lights along this backboard. So that way when we slide it in. Alright, so next we're going to do our lights. In order to do this, I'm going to have to put the backboard into the shadow box, and then I'm going to glue, or not glue, sorry, I'm going to tape these lights to the actual backing. Alright, before we get too far into the lights, I'm actually going to cut a little tiny notch into this backing so that way I can run the cord behind the whole picture box, because this one has a battery box. It's pretty thick. That's not going to be able to fit inside, so you're going to want it on the back so that way you can still get to the battery pack and turn it on and off when you want to use it. Alright, tiny little notch is cut. Now I'm going to put this backing into the box, and I'm going to put the cords. So I want to put the cords in through like this, so I can slide the backing down into it, and it'll fit nice and well. Alright, so we got our backing in. You see, this is why I cut the notch, so now the cord can feed into the actual box, and I'll be able to put the lights around the backing. Alright, so now I'm just gonna run my cords around the box, and I'm gonna use a piece of tape to tape it down to the box, and it's gonna run kind of swiggly line or all around, because I got, I think, like 7 feet of light to work with, so I'm going to make sure I get lights evenly dispersed throughout it so there's not too much clump of lights in one spot. So, see how it comes out. I got my box all wired up. I taped it, and then I got the back. This is the excess wire that I pulled through. Get off my drink! And here's what it looks like when I turn the lights on. Ooh, so pretty. Alright, we're back at the planets. And the last time I did planets, I put white down first. And on glass, turns out that that's a mistake. So I'm not going to do that again. I am going to stick to the same color theme and kind of go a little bit lighter, so hopefully that my colors will shine through. Alright, so let's start with our pinky color. I'm going to go with some red. And now I'm going to go with my orange. There we go. And I'm actually not going to put any paper down. I'm just going to let it dry like that and kind of see what happens. So this is the original pane glass that I took all those steps and walked you guys through. And then while I was doing it, I realized I done fucked up. But this is what it looks like. So I'm going to point out the mistakes that I made right here. Big one is I found out that on glass, don't put the white down first. It doesn't look bad, but it doesn't look great. And also, the paints that I have are pretty quick drying. So this whole process, when I made the nebula cloud, you kind of got to do it quick. Because the paint dries and adheres pretty damn quick. And that's the struggles with the glass painting, is you don't really know how it's going to look until it's done drying and you flip it over. And then you're like, oh man, I could have done this, and this better. So here's this. It didn't come out bad. I don't hate it, but I don't love it. So let's go and check to see if our second painted glass came out any bit better. So here's our second painted glass. I went a lot lighter colors. I made sure not to black it out after. That was just an all-around stupid move. So I'm going to flip this glass over. Ooh, I might have to clean some of that off. Here's painting number 2, that right there, that smudge at the bottom. This is actually just paint that dried to the glass on the other side, so I just gotta go and wipe it off. But look at that planet though. Holy crap, I like that. That's probably one of my favorite planets that I have done. Look how bright it looks. And you see the clean, crisp edge. This is one of the benefits of doing glass paintings, and like I said, do not overspray when it comes to your glass painting, because if you overspray, it's going to leak underneath your this thing, whatever the hell you want to call that. That's what I use to outline the planet. If you overspray, it's going to pool, and it's not going to give you that crisp, clean edge. And then here's our nebula cloud. Came out pretty good. This time I went a lot quicker. I dabbed the nebula cloud and then I immediately went into the colors. And it came out pretty good. You can still see our stars. Okay. And all in all, I am pretty damn happy. I just got to get rid of the outer dried up paint, which I actually have a spray for that, and I can show you what it is in case you run across this problems yourselves. I'm confident my glass has cured. It's not tacky to the touch. So now I'm going to go ahead and slide this glass panel in, and we're going to see the final result. I forgot about my little paint mistake. So I have this stuff. It's Goo Off. It's the Miracle Remover. So I'm gonna take my painting here, move my painting down to somewhere a little bit cleaner and drier. And I'm just gonna take this Goo Off and spray those areas that I hate. And I'm going to let it sit because it's actually kind of abrasive. It's got little scrubbers in it. And I'm going to let it sit there for a minute and peel off all that paint. Once it sits for a minute, I'm actually going to just carefully wipe it off. See, that one's all nice and gone. Some of these thicker areas might add some extra scrubbing with your finger. But as you can see, it's coming right off. So I'm just gonna remove this real quick, and then I'm gonna go ahead and add it to our light box. So here it is, all framed up. And let's go bring it to a dark space and let's see how the lights react to it. Alright, dark space. Hit the lights. And there it is. It's interesting. So some of the lights kind of peek through pretty dominant, but I think it gives it a pretty cool feel to it. Very spacey. There it is. Glass painting in a picture box with some lights. I started this painting, I think probably around 4:30. It is now 7:36. So it was quite the journey. I hope you guys liked this video. It was pretty damn chaotic and there's a lot going on. I myself learned a lot from this video. But if you do like it, give it a thumbs up and maybe subscribe. I don't know. I'm also over on TikTok at another spray artist. I do a lot of shorter videos of just other stuff that I've made. That's all I got. Thanks for watching.